Michael J, aka Swifty, glad you could join us. Sit back, sit tight, relax, and get comfortable.
So the incomparable. I've got this ship and I've been kinda disappointed by it. This is the first impressions though, so I haven't played too many games yet, but
Okay, I thought I'd throw this at you guys. So, Potato Quality just posted a video about the incomparable, and we've seen a few different ones from different people. So let's have a comparison here right now. Let me know what you think in chat. And good day to y'all. Michael J here. Stay healthy, stay good. Let me know what you think about this.
this ship's been really hyped up given that it's a Shikishima gun caliber and it has gimmicks, right? We got the incredible concealment, the battle cruiser-ish dispersion, which we'll talk about in a little bit, and of course speed boost, hydro, a super heal, and the concealment really is special. The 10.6 kilometer concealment is just ridiculous, honestly. It's something that I never imagined a battleship would get at this tier, given that these guns are so big, accurate, and that it seems like you're just gonna sneak up on cruisers and dev strike them, right? That would be the thought, right? However, I haven't been having the best time in this ship. It's been somewhat frustrating to play, and honestly, I think that's down to 6-gun battleship. That's really what it is. I find 6-gun battleships really, really, really frustrating. Sometimes they work and they seem insane. Shikishima was a great example of this. Incomparable, Georgia. These ships on paper seem amazing. They get better dispersion than some of the higher gun count ships. They get some increased reloads, which Incomparable doesn't really get. That's something that you should know, is that Incomparable actually gets a longer reload than the Shikishima by quite a bit. So it's not amazing in that sense as far as DPM is concerned, but it should make up for it with the concealment, the gimmicks, of course, and the dispersion, right? We can sneak shells through this tiny little gap and cheese our way to a little bit of a kill early on. But it really comes down to the consistency, and I don't trust these guns to do damage. It's a scenario where I want to push in, but I don't feel like I can because I can't rely on these guns. That's what it comes down to, for me at least, is that the good concealment, the speed, the hydro, that's a personal hydro, right? Just like the daring, that gives you that early warning of torpedoes. To me, it all looks like the perfect flanking, hard push type of ship where you try and figure out a way to push in using your concealment, your speed, and try and get a flank on the enemy, right? That's how I, at least initially, think this ship is going to be played, right? Given the assortment of gimmicks and what I know about this game. The problem is that consistency, though. And when you push in, you generally commit. Or at least I should. I should say I generally commit when I push in, given the difficulty of turning out with such a big ship with a very exposed citadel. You're not going to get away with going broadside very easily in this ship. It's not hard to citadel this thing at all. So given that it's so difficult to push in, what are you left with? Well, you're left with kind of backline sniping. But it's not even that good at it because it struggles with range. You don't have the range of a Shikishima, and if you take range mod, you have an atrocious reload. So it's a bit of this odd mid-range ship that I haven't quite figured out yet. And that's why this is a first impressions, not a review. Take this all with a grain of salt. I've played a few games and want to give some initial thoughts on it. The tankiness, of course, is something that's been brought up as an issue. But if you angle well, use your maneuverability, your speed well, I'm running the rudder shift module in this case, and you can get some pretty decent games in terms of potential damage. You know, this game was a blowout. You know, our team kind of overpushed and then all died. But 190k is a great game to start off with.
Still did 190k in damage.
It's still frustrating given that some of these salvos into Malwan ships that you'd think...
yeah, he's mentioned about tankiness. Yeah, it's not all that tanky. And, you know, we did the review on Tier 10 ships, and the Thunderer came up, and they nerfed the range on that. So you sacrifice reload in order to get range, and it's the same type of thing. It's only got an 80,000 hit pool, and it's not tanky either. And so that's another thing that Flamu didn't bring up yesterday, so it's similar to this. So to take the Thunderer from a longer range proper battleship and make it into more of a mid-range player totally takes it out of its element and just ruins the whole experience. So let's see what he has to say further here.
I'm going to crush someone. They didn't really hit too hard. 3.2, 3.3 million potential damage, though, in a so-called squishy ship. That's not bad. And that is down to the rudder shift and the speed boost, trying to dodge, and of course using concealment to go in and out of spotting. Now on to the next game I've got for you. We're going to look at a situation where I do push. This is the, I guess, ideal scenario, at least in my mind so far, for an incomparable push. It's epicenter, so realistically you're going to have a lot of people focused on the middle of the map, and we're going to try and use the speed initially to just get a hard flank on people so that it's very difficult for the enemy team to push into the middle. We do that. We get a broadside NC, and we take a huge chunk out of them, which felt really, really, really good. And given that there's a smokescreen kind of charging us, we just use our Hydro. This ship is surprisingly good in these scenarios where you're not overwhelmed with firepower. You can tell we're using the island to limit the firing angles of something like the Smolensk behind the island, as well as the enemies incomparable. We're waiting to see how much is here. And we can dodge all these torpedoes. This personal Hydro is incredible. The speed boost is awesome. These gimmicks are great. I don't want to understate that just because I've been having a bit of a frustrating time with this ship. I am showing you highlights, by the way. This is by no means the worst games, because I don't think they'd be that interesting to watch. So we dev strike then NC, right? It's awesome. You get that flank with your concealment, with your speed, and you get those dev strikes. It feels really, really, really nice. But that's not the norm, at least as far as I've been playing. And the Smolensk is going to show us that in a little bit. It's a lot of overpins. And I've also been finding the dispersion kind of bugs out. I don't know if you saw that first salvo of this video. Maybe I should have put it in here. But in the first salvo in this video, I kind of nuked a Nevsky, and that was because two turrets were pinpoint accurate, and the other one looked like it had not locked on dispersion. And that's an issue when you only have 6 shells. We did hit them hard, so fair enough, but it's something that I'm having issues with the more I've been looking at the dispersion and the way this game goes. Sometimes you get great dispersion like this one, where you get a Citadel, you're going to hit hard against a broadside incomparable. But the inconsistencies and I guess some of the bugs in the aiming system make it really difficult to play this flanking, pushing playstyle where you have to commit, right? Like I committed very hard here into the pseudo middle of the map, at least on this flank, and it worked out because we were able to kill that incomparable. But if my shells had whiffed, you know, we had an aiming bug where they all land short, I'm sure you guys have experienced that, it wouldn't have gone so well. And that's the issue, is when you do have those scenarios where you push in and you're relying on that massive hit to come through and it doesn't, you often die. And that's my issue with this ship so far. It's the inconsistency. The Smolensk, of course, angles completely bow away or stern into us, and we get overpens somehow on his ship. At least a broadside CV is something that we can take down. And of course, I understand that we can't give battleships perfect dispersion and perfect consistency, because that would be unfair, and it would be incredibly difficult to play against, especially at their current damage outputs. But I just can't help but feel that it's difficult to take advantage of this speed and concealment when you don't know if your risky or somewhat, I think, well-designed push is going to work or not, based on whether your dispersion cooperates. So that's the issue, at least so far, with the incomparable. But again, I've only played a few matches. We'll see how it goes. Of course, full review will be coming in the future, but for now, I think you wait on this ship. I think the Bourgogne is going to be a way better battleship in the vast majority of situations. It's got the speed as well. It's got a reload booster, which I like that gimmick a little better. Yeah, so far, I think it's not outshining the Bourgogne at all. And as far as Shikishima, I don't like 6-gun battleships. I think that's the big deal here. I'm not a huge fan of low gun count when there's kind of trolley RNG dispersion involved. As far as the commander I'm using, it is just the standard battleship build. I don't think that's a terribly big surprise to anyone here. I do think that it could be interesting with super heavy AP shells, given you have a super heal and you're kind of this hit and run style ship trying to use your concealments. You're not tanking for long periods of time, so the extra fire damage probably isn't going to be as big a deal. And that's something you could honestly just swap on really quickly. Let's say you have a decent daring commander, which I've actually spec'd for my Agincourt, so we'll have a video for that one in a little bit. But maybe you've got a Goliath or a Minotaur commander, and you can just swap them over to a premium battleship and have a full battleship build. So then, you know, maybe you do something along these lines and see how that goes. If you have 21 points, get the AR, right? I think it's really cool that it's a premium just so that you can do this and mess around with builds, but I just can't help but think that this is not the first ship you should be looking to get for steel. It's pretty expensive for what it is, and I think it's going to be very situational. I could be wrong, and again, I hope I am. I hope I figure out a way to play this where I'm enjoying it, but so far I've felt a little frustrated by it. And that's probably just down to the 6-gun nature of the ship. I have tried range mod, by the way, but I just felt like the reload was far too long with range mod. You can see with reload, we still only have 25.5 seconds, which sounds really good. But the reason I say only is because we go to the Shikishima and we have 23.8 with more range, better armor, and yeah, it's a weird one. It's a weird one. In a lot of ways, it's better than Shikishima, but it just feels so difficult to make use of those strengths in its concealment and flanking potential when it's still a battleship with 6 guns that has to deal with RNG. It's hard to commit into some of those situations. So that's the build, and I think it's pretty good, especially with rudder shift. You can see like 13-second rudder shift. It's enough to dodge a lot, especially with your speed boost up. But let me know what you think in the comments below if you got this ship. Maybe.
Yeah, let me know what you think, guys. I, as I mentioned yesterday, after later in the day, did some runs in the Thunderer, and just running into pathetic dispersion with the shells. And AP was more a miss than a hit. And what I mean by that was just lackluster damage. And for a ship that's supposed to have 66% fire chance, was barely getting any fires. So it's a real cluster muck with wargaming right now, and this is where he just mentioned with the incomparable and his experiences. And like, you know, I took out the Thunder. I did many games in it last night, late afternoon last night, and the shell characteristics were rather pathetic, extremely pathetic, to be honest with you. So now what we're going to do now, yesterday we went over the Tier 10 battleships, and As well, I revisited the Republic, and yeah, it was had a great game the first game, and most games quite did quite well. But I'm just finding overall with the games, there's a lot of like you said, the shell's just falling short. Uh, like even Napoli, which is not the greatest AP, but and even against a tier eight toggle, I was lucky to be getting on a broadside hit, maybe 2K, and it would get 7,000 plus the odd time on me angled. So it's just a weird shell situation within the game itself, is my conclusion so far. It's not the de facto standard, but you got to go by what you experience. So what we're going to do is go to looking at and reviewing right now the coal ships that are available. So from the armory, it's a premium ship, but you can't accrue coal, and coal ships are supposed to be somewhat better. And let's see what he says about these here. So let me know in the comments, please.
This we'll try. We'll try. We can do steel ships, or sorry, coal ships first. Honestly, we can just do it in the order. Coal, dub, steel. We can do it in the order. So let's see. What ship do we run into first? That's coal. Can I shit. Well, we can nose to shimmy. Where the hell is nose? Dude, finding them in this mess is gonna be interesting, isn't it? There's nose to shimmy. Nose to shimmy for coal. Nose to shimmy is actually a really strong destroyer. It's got a super heal, it's got great conceal, it's more of a torpedo boat than a gunboat, but honestly, its gimmick is the fact that it's a zombie destroyer. It's almost impossible to kill. It's super good. I think in fact I would probably put it like A plus in terms of strength, like, or A for tier 9. Nose to shimmy is just really strong. The problem, however, is that it's super expensive. It's a tier 9 destroyer that literally costs you more than most, well, all tier 10 ships, and you pay a huge premium compared to these. So in terms of, do I think it's worth getting for coal? No. It's a good ship, but for the cost, this is one of those ships, if it had more coal, it would be higher. If you have a shit ton of coal, unlimited amounts, it's fine. But if you don't have it, there's no way you should be spending, like if you're struggling for coal, there's no way you should be spending 300,000 coal to get this thing. So it goes in a B, because this is it just overpriced. This thing is just overpriced for what it does. It's overpriced because it used to be a steel ship, not because it's so super powerful. It was a steel ship that was moved into coal, and because of that, it now has an inflated cost to make up for all the people that spent money on doing it. What do you mean new list? What's from here? No, here it is. Okay, nothing changed here. Good. So that would be my nose to shimmy. Immelman, we don't touch CVs. You shouldn't buy CVs. Those are a scourge on the 7 Seas. No one wants to see you. No one likes you if you play CVs. Your mom doesn't love you. Just no CVs. Napoli. Napoli is actually pretty hilariously strong. It's a ship, but it's a ship that is significantly stronger in competitive, significantly stronger in ranked, whereas in randoms it's a bit hit and miss. The guns are honestly pretty junk. The secondaries are varying usefulness. Napoli's biggest gimmick is the fact that the ship is just horrendously hard to kill. The guns are underwhelming. The guns are terrible. Honestly, the guns are really terrible. Napoli guns just don't do anything. The DPM, shit, can we look at the DPM here? Let's see, filter. If you guys want to see like damage output on Napoli. Let's see, can I find Napoli here? Let's do main battery shells, HEDPM. There's Napoli. You had worse HDPM than Petro and Stalin, and your APDPM. Well, once again, you got worse APDPM than a Venezia. So yeah, the guns are basically a joke. Napoli's gimmick is the fact that it's hard to kill. That's the gimmick. I think it's it's still absolutely worth getting. Like you can, if your team doesn't want you to play Petra because they don't like winning or because it's banned, then you can play Napoli instead. Or you can just play it in ranked. If for some reason you're bored of winning easily with the Petropavlos, then you can instead play the Napoli. Napoli is just a cruiser that has battleship tankiness, except it's got stealth, it can disengage very easily. It's nasty to deal with. But I still don't think, especially if we take random battles into account, I don't actually think it's that very, very powerful. So your mileage will vary. Is like, what do you want? I'm trying to find it. Where the hell is the Napoli? Here's tier 10s. Where's the Napoli? Am I blind? Chat, am I blind? Is the Napoli not on here? Hello? Am I blind, chat? I literally can't find it. This list might be a bit bad because this list is made by someone who apparently wants me to play really, really old games. You might have the wrong link. That is literally the exact same link. Literally the exact same link. Literally the exact same link. I can copy it, paste it, same link. Oh, he updated it. Maybe it just didn't update. Okay, Nostrum went here because it's overpriced. Hello. Nostrum went here because it's overpriced. And Napoli is... Okay, where's Napoli? Hello? How did this fix my issue? Okay. Napoli, I would probably, honestly, for its performance in ranked and stuff, I'd probably throw it into A, but considering if you're not playing comp, there's not a whole reason for you to want it. If you want a tanky cruiser, Petra exists. And as long as Petra exists, do you really want to spend coal on it? Not really. So my justification throws that into B as well, because it's hard to justify getting the Napoli when you can play something else, unless you're getting it specifically because Petra isn't allowed. Like, besides that, if you're not playing it before the tankiness, you wouldn't be getting it for the guns, because Napoli guns are a meme. So, yeah. Napoli goes into B. We'll move it once this filter list gets updated. Yoshino? No. Yoshino is just... Yoshino has a gigantic citadel. It's horrendously vulnerable. Yoshino is only good at one thing and one thing alone, and that's sitting in the back and spamming HE. You will occasionally see Yoshinos close the distance and drop their torpedoes. You will also see those same Yoshinos explode in a nice, beautiful fireball, which lets you know just how well that tactic works. Yoshino is kind of like an oversized Zhao, except without the concealment, the nimbleness, and all these other things. A lot of people bring Yoshino to rank. These are people who aren't interested in winning rank. They just want to grief you. They hate you. So Yoshino... I mean, basically D tier. I don't know why you'd spend coal on it. I can kind of justify spending coal on a ship if it gives you some sort of really unique, cool playing style that you don't normally have. But Yoshino is literally a long-range HE spammer. That's what Yoshino does. Except it has a huge citadel. It burns for 60 seconds. It doesn't have any AA. It doesn't have anything going for it. It's got the long-range torpedoes. But you're paying a lot of coal for a mediocre long-range HE spammer that's not even particularly good at what it does. I don't understand the value of spending coal on this. I don't understand. I got it when it came out. Yeah, most people add this ship because it's old. But honestly, compared to anything else, like, why aren't you playing a Goliath? You can torpedo, you got better stealth, you got super heal, you're super tanky, you can do YOLOs, you can do... You're still an HE spammer, but you're also significantly more useful. So... I don't really see the value of spending coal on this right now. It's a long-range HE farmer. That's what it does. That's literally what it does. You can citadel ships with Yoshino's AP. I'm sure you can. Absolutely. I mean, the caliber is a bit larger. But, once again, you're not going to get any sort of incredible damage output out of this thing. Even like the HE. Even the HE damage output. The thing is, you sit at range and you throw out HE. That's what you do. But you suffer from all the weaknesses of a battle cruiser, but you don't really get the armor of a battle cruiser. Yoshino is fun to shoot because you get a lot of damage. You get the H effect from the bigger caliber. That's true. That's true. Okay. Did you add Napoli to it so I can update it? We can refresh. Let's see. Is Napoli here? Napoli's here. Nice. Okay, let's move Napoli up here into B. Once again, for I'm rating this. I'm not rating this based on strength. I hope people understand that this is not based rate on strength. This is people ask me, is it worth getting the ship? And I'm justifying why some ships might be worth and why some ships, in my opinion, are not worth getting. If it was based on just pure strength, carry capacity, they would be higher up, of course. But I'm sure people will misunderstand and be very upset, and I like that. That's good. Let's see. Salem. Salem is basically, well, you saw my tier list on the Salem. Salem goes really high up there. Salem would be a strong B tier ship. It's just very, very powerful. Des Moines is super strong. Salem trades off some things with the Des Moines. Salem, for example, has a really shitty radar, only 8.5 kilometers. Salem cannot slot both hydro and radar at the same time. You have to pick one or the other, and those are the two best consumables. So you're stuck with eh. On the other hand, and Salem doesn't get the legendary mod either. But on the other hand, Salem gets a super heal. The super heal is a questionable value because if you get Citadel or get huge pen damage, you can't actually heal that much. But if you're fighting some HE spammers, it's basically god tier, and yeah, that's what helps it. So, but I mean, should you get it? If you don't have the Des Moines, and you're never planning on grinding the Des Moines, no interest in getting it ever, you're not even going to touch the heavy US cruisers, which would be a shame because you miss out on stuff like the Baltimore. But provided you never want to get them, then Salem is basically A. For you get the Des Moines gameplay, everything about the Des Moines that is fantastic. You get the incredible guns, and you still get the good armor, the good gun setup, the concealment, the super heal. But on the other hand, if you own Des Moines, then it's basically C tier, D tier. Like you're paying for a ship. Oops, you're paying for a ship that you already have. You're literally paying for a ship that you already have, just a slight side grade of it. So this is one of those. You have no American premiums. Salem is a great captain trainer, great potential moneymaker. Or you just want the premium ship to grind. You don't have the Des Moines. Then it's basically A tier. So Salem goes up. Depends on this, like depending on what you have. It's really hard to place. In terms of strength, it's up here. In terms of do you have Des Moines, do you have other American premiums, then it's down here. It's not an easy ship to place. Marceau. Well, Marceau is just god tier. Honestly, Marceau just goes straight to the top. Marceau is an S tier destroyer. And it, unlike the Kleber, it does play differently. Where the shit is Marceau? Is Marceau also missing from this list? I think Marceau is also missing from this list. That's unfortunate. Okay, well, Marceau probably goes straight into. Why is this OP? It should be S, because this isn't ranking them based on performance. But cool, man. This guy who made this list, you can tell he plays really old games because he's not very good at this. But that's fine. We forgive him. But yeah, Marceau goes up into S. It has Kleber's fantastic hull, but it's different. Unlike Kleber, you don't have the railguns, but in return you have huge consistent DPM. You can lob shells over islands, which Kleber can't. But on the other hand, you have longer range torpedoes, you have better AA, you have better conceal. It's a side grade from Kleber, but both Marceau and Kleber are really, really good. The DPM on the Marceau is completely filthy, and I mean, the HE DPM is up here. The AP DPM, well, it's up here. So in terms of just pumping out damage in the ship, it's completely hilarious. And when it comes to starting fires, basically burning ships to death, it ranks up right here with these guys, 9.6. And unlike all the other ones, it's extremely hard to hit as well. So it's just super, super brutal. How is Salem worse than Napoli? Don't you start. Did you listen to anything I said, Fire? Did you just open the list and go? I disagree. Okay, let's see. Is Marceau here now? Marceau is here. I bet Marceau Fire just opened the list and went, I disagree. I just opened the stream. I have no idea. I fucking guessed. Classic. And let's see. What else do we have? Kearsarge. Kearsarge is insane. Kearsarge is the only ship that is potentially more misplayed than the Yoshino. It's literally Montana. It's a Montana guns at tier 9, except you got rocket planes and you can spot for yourself. In fact, you can line up a strike with your rocket planes and then recall as you're in the attacking animation. Go back to your battleship, use your own plane spotting on the ship that you're striking, and you can shoot it. So you literally spot for yourself with 12 Montana guns. The problem is, the vast majority of the player base is brain dead, and they think that because it has planes, it should play like a carrier. Sorry, NC guns. 12 NC guns. So instead of, people think that because it has planes, you should play like a carrier and sit at the very back of the map and throw out rocket planes every couple of minutes at the enemy, and then they do 0 damage and they perform like junk, and that's literally the reason why the ship is so low up there. But Kearsarge is basically, I would put it in S if it wasn't for the fact that it brings planes to the game, and anything that brings planes to the game is disgusting, so we put it down into A. Otherwise it would be up here in S because it's really, really strong. It's really, really strong. Also, it's ugly as sin, honestly. It looks like it has a tumor growing out of it, so big weaknesses there in terms of performance and value.
Yeah, I gotta admit, yeah, Kearsarge, I held off buying it because it's so friggin' ugly. And then I just bought it because it's actually fairly OP, believe it or not. And that was based on my experience playing against it. The guns got the North Carolina guns, and they're pretty decent. Yeah, still butt ugly, though. That hasn't changed.
It's pretty insane. Tulsa, oh, I hate Tulsa. Honestly, Tulsa, I had such hopes for Tulsa. I was like, yeah, Mini Des Moines, let's go, woo, Mini Des Moines. And then Wargaming was like, yeah, well, we're gonna make the radar shit.
Okay, I gotta share something with you guys. I was really down on the Tulsa. I'm a cruiser player by trade, so I gotta tell you something. I've been really down on the Tulsa, but I've reconfigured it, and I've actually been doing quite well with it. Took a little while to figure out what I needed to do, but it's working really well for me now. So I really changed my position on the Tulsa, but it's not for the average guy. Trust me on that. So let's go back to see what he has to say here.
And you're gonna stick with the Des Moines dispersion that is junk, so you need plenty of turrets to actually make it work. And honestly, C maybe, like, it's bit more cool, more fun to play like something than Yoshino. But Tulsa was something I was hyped for Tulsa. Same, yeah. Honestly, that was a ship I was like, yeah, this is gonna be cool, like Mini Des Moines, let's go. But it's nothing like Mini Des Moines. If shit, Baltimore at tier 8 feels better than Tulsa. It's just super frustrating, and it's not fun. Honestly, in terms of strength, Yoshino is a better ship to spend money on, or spend coal on. In terms of strength, Yoshino is better. It's just that the fact that Yoshino's gameplay is whereas Tulsa actually is kind of like get in there and do action. But okay, let's see. Nice haircut, thank you. I mean, I wish I could take props for the styling, but that was the barber who did it. So okay, let's see. Carrot. Carrot is, I mean, probably C tier as well. It's pretty fast. It's moderately tanky. Reload is obnoxious though. Reload is really obnoxious. It takes
But the
so
friggin'
long to
shells are
reload.
pathetic. The AP
You
shells
kinda
are
sail
friggin'
around and you
disaster
spam
at
HE,
close
but
range.
unlike the Yoshino, it doesn't explode instantly. That doesn't make it particularly good. Where the hell is the carrot? I'm not blind shot. Tier 9s, tier 9s, tier 9s, tier 9s, tier 9. Sugima Hizen. Baiji. Marble. Are we missing the carrot? I think we're missing the carrot from this list. First line? Oh no, I'm blind. Here, there's the carrot. Maybe a C tier? I know, like, what did carrot even have? Did it have any consumables for it? No, it didn't have anything special. It's fast, but the reload on it, the reload was the thing that just you play it and you do so little. That was really the struggle with it. Like, let's see, what kind of DPM does this thing actually do? I'm curious. I've never actually looked at the DPM. I can't imagine it being very high. Where's Carrot? Carrot, there it is. What's the HE DPM? Yeah, shit. You know, when a Johan de Witt has better HE damage output than you do, that's when you know it's a tragedy. That's the, oh my god, that I didn't even know. That's like significantly worse. That's like 10% worse than Johan de Witt. And Johan de Witt is already a joke. Yikes. And it's got terrible firing angles. Honestly, it might even be closer to D after looking at that. I can't imagine why I'd want to play it. Why would I want to, more importantly, why would I want to spend coal on it? So I can get a French ship that's significantly worse than the St. Louis. That plays similarly though. I mean, the St. Louis is here. The St. Louis is here. But St. Louis is stealthy fast, reload booster, just a pretty damn powerful ship. No, honestly, I don't see. I'm trying to rate this based on is it worth getting for coal, and no. No. The AP shells, hello. Does it have something special in terms of AP? Let's see, AP shells. Well, first of all, let's look at dispersion. What's the dispersion like? Okay, the dispersion is Aegir levels, but it doesn't have any improved pen angles. No, it doesn't have any improved pen angles. It's standard angles, standard fuse. Is the penetration? The penetration, it looks pretty good. So it's got pretty punchy AP. Let's see, the AP is, where is it? Here. It's pretty punchy. Pretty punchy at 16. You can sit that on most things. 10k alpha. Okay, but the alpha is cool and all. But the DPM, that doesn't mean the DPM is good. Like the DPM is, the AP DPM is still here. What's the real? 25-second reload. Shit, it's kind of like a junky battleship. One shot at Briga at 21 kilometers. Okay, well, you know, bro, seriously. I one-shotted a CV at the start of the game. Does that mean CVs are weak? Or that battleships dumpster CVs? Like, come on. I wish people wouldn't use terrible examples. Like, this one time at band camp, I caught a fish that was 2 meters long. Like, okay, that's fucking fantastic, but that's completely irrelevant to the discussion. I think we might put it here just for the AP penetration. But I think it's honestly, I think it's a pretty junk ship, and I would never recommend spending coal on it. This one time I saw Nagata dumpster Musashi. How broken is Nagata? I mean, it's not like it consistently does it anyway. It's got Aegir dispersion. Hello? Why would you spend coal on it? Honestly, it just... yeah. Why would you spend coal on it though? 10 to 12k average per AP salvo. Necrobull, what is your in-game name? I want to look at your Aegir stats. Because if you average 10 to 12k per volley and you reload 25 seconds, you must be averaging some absolutely insane numbers in that chip. And I want to look at your Aegir, or sorry, at your Carrot, and I want to learn how incredibly broken that chip is. Can you tell me what your in-game name is? Necrobull. These better be like 300k average numbers in this thing right now. Better be like 300k average numbers. Is the not EU? Is it NA? No? What? That's Russia. Russia. Okay, here it is. Okay, let's see. Where's Aegir? This better be like the most insane Aegir damage in history. Oh, sorry, Carrot. Carrot. Where's Carrot? Carrot. 104k. Not bad, actually. Not bad. Is this even solo? I am pleasantly surprised. It's in fact, is it your best performing? Oh, it's solo. Look at this guy. Big dick, big dick. Where did it go? Shit, I lost it. Was it 48 battles? Where is it? Here. Look at this guy. Where is it? Carrot. 104,000. Okay, not quite 10 to 12k average per volley, because otherwise you're only shooting 10 volleys per game, which I think is a pretty short time to be spending shooting. I mean, I'm really questioning some other things here. Have you ever considered that maybe this playstyle just suits you really, really well, instead of it actually being really, really good? Like, that would make a lot more sense than, for example, your Minnesota win rate is better than your Izuma win rate, which is interesting to me. I think you just like HE spammers. I think you just like HEs, long-range HE spammers, long-range spammers. I think that might be it. I think that's... I respect your opinion. I still think the ship is junk, though. I still think the ship is junk. But I respect that you find success in it. You find success in the odd ships. Just low sample size win rate, which doesn't mean anything. 48 battles is starting to get some idea. Also with 48 battles, if you average 102k, you're obviously getting some work done in the ship. And I mean, when someone says, I think it's like a really good tier 9 ship, and then their stats show that it's actually a ship that they perform extremely poorly in, it kind of kills their argument. But for this guy, it was probably his best performing tier 9. So obviously there is something there that he really enjoys in it. Okay, let's see. Marco Polo. What was Marco Polo? What was Marco Polo's gimmick? Isn't it just like really shit? Well, it's an Italian BB, so really shit is kind of implied, but is there anything else about it? 406mm sap. Okay, that's incredible. 406mm sap. Wow. Is it a D or a C? Okay, what's our dispersion like? What is our dispersion like? Where's horizontal? How's the vertical? It's not that bad. It's okay. What's our sigma? 1.9. Okay, so the sigma is okay. The reload is kind of junk though. Whoa, it has the second worst AP DPM. The second worst AP DPM. But it's got... I guess it's got sap DPM. So you just run around shooting sap in it, and that's it. Would I want to spend... Vincent Vega, understandable. Does it have insanely good AP pen? Insanely good AP pen. Interesting. Let's watch. Does it have insanely good AP pen? It's got pretty good AP pen for sure. Actually, not bad. It's getting close to Izuma, and Izuma's got insane AP pen. This thing citadels across the map. Shit, it overtakes the Izuma at 18. Okay, so the AP pen is not there. The AP pen is not there. I didn't actually know that it had such good pen on the guns. But it's still Italian, and it still doesn't have HE or any tools against DDs at all. So, I mean, the dispersion is also, well, it is what it is. Like that's really it. It is what it is. Whew. Horizontal dispersion sitting up here isn't exactly optimal. That means wide as shit. Sigma is there to like compensate, but I remember playing the ship and honestly not being very impressed by it. At what range are these? 18 kilometers. I don't know. I guess if you want an Italian premium, we'll throw it into C. I struggle to see a reason, like any particular reason why you really want the Marco Polo. Like, is there what would be the driving force to get the Marco Polo channel? What would be the like, yeah, Marco Polo? What can I find? Oh, am I blind?
The only reason why was because you got a shitload of coal and you're looking to buy something. That's it. That's what happened with me.
Where is it, chat? I can't see it. Hello? Am I blind? Blind dude? There it is. Yeah, I think we'll put it in C. I think I made a vid on it, and I think I said it's Deadeye dependent. Like, if it wasn't for Deadeye, this thing would be shit. And now Deadeye is gone, and I think I played it after that, and it was kind of terrible. They buffed the Sigma since then. Did they buff it enough to make up for it? It was buffed, and it's still not good. Interesting. Pretty big Sigma buff, to be fair, but yeah, honestly, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to find a reason why should you spend coal on this. Like, this is, people ask me, should I use my coal on this, and I'm trying to find a justification for getting it, and no, like, if you want to brawl, there's the German battle cruiser tier 9, which is insane. You can push in with the Sovietsky Soyuz if you want. If you just want to smash people across the map, the Zumo is completely bonkers at doing it. Like, I don't see the point. I don't see the point. Z44, well, that's extremely easy. Z44 is possibly one of the junkiest tier 9 premiums in the game. This one goes straight into D tier. Straight into D tier. Good lord. Good lord, absolute trash. Like, this ship is a tragedy. This ship is an absolute tragedy. I cannot, like, sheesh. Like, where do we sit? It has some AP DPM, right? Because it's German. But the problem is, of course, it doesn't have any improved pen angles on it, does it? Z44 here does no improved standard pen angles, and you get over pens with them. But even worse, so you're forced to use HE against other DDs, and if you're forced to use HE in this thing, well, then you're stuck with this HE. And I mean, when an Shimi pumps out more damage than you do, that's a level of tragedy I'm not sure I can even vocalize. Because you don't have a heal like he does. It's like, Shimi without healing will outgun you. Imagine. Like, it's just, and you got 5 guns, and the gun angles are poor as well, so you struggle to even use all your guns. Most of the time your DPM is going to be even worse. I think you had what, reload booster to try to help it. I think even didn't you have concealment issues? Where's Z44? Yeah, he sits here. It sits here. So Neostoshimi's got a 400 meter buffer over you, and the plane spotting was higher as well. Torpedo wise, your torpedo DPM is here. 10k more than Neostra. That's pretty much it. Honestly, it just doesn't bring anything. I think it didn't even have Hydro. The biggest problem with the Z44 really is that the Z46 is in the tech tree, and it does everything the Z44 does, but basically better. It's the significantly better ship. It doesn't get Hydra. Oh yeah, it didn't even get the German Hydra. Z46 gets it. So I don't see any reason to justify spending coal on a ship that is objectively worse than the tech tree ship that it's compared to. It's a nice hybrid. How is it a hybrid? It doesn't do damage. It has the worst damage output. Like terrible damage output. How is what? Look, what? It's got 12k torps, I guess. But I mean, torp reload isn't fast enough to give it any sort of incredible DPM values here on the torpedoes. Like this Fletcher you could call something of a hybrid. Udall is something of a hybrid. Yuguma is just a torpedo boat, but I'm pretty sure Yuguma actually outguns it, does it? Yeah, Yuguma. Oh yeah, Yugumo has, oh my god, imagine losing to Yugumo by 30k HE DPM. Holy shit. Yeah, okay, we're not gonna look at that anymore. I stand by my case. Z44 is a pile of junk. Absolute pile of junk. Pommern. Why would you get the Pommern? Well, there was a time that Pommern was really cool. It had a lot of really spicy features, like strong secondaries and torpedoes, and that was like a really cool feature, like special. Wasn't it one of the first ships that came with like hydroacoustic surge as well? I think, did it have hydro? I don't remember. Did it have hydro as well? I think it had hydro and torps and secondaries. So it was like, whoa. The downside was it has terrible firing angles. The firing angles are complete junk. And it eats massive damage from everywhere. So, but then Ruprecht came, which has, well, better hydro, better secondaries, better torpedoes, much better DPM. It's like, oh, the concealment significantly better. AA also significantly better, I think. Actually, I'm not sure about AA. But like, it's very hard to justify spending coal on the Pommern anymore. Now that once again the tech tree comparison is just so much goddamn better. Like, in terms of gunpower, Pommern still sits here. Like, the gunpower is better. The problem is using the guns is so hard because you have to give so much broadside. In fact, I played FTG is really good. After the buffs, FTG isn't actually that bad. But the thing is, I remember playing Pommern, and it was always like, if you want to use the secondaries, you can't use the guns. You die if you use the guns. So you sit like boot in, and you use the back turrets and use the secondaries, and that's the way you effectively deal damage. But like secondary damage output, I think the DPM just... Well, this is second. Let's see hitting DPM. Actual damage output. Giuseppe Verdi. Oh, this is so fake though, isn't it? Because it shows the 90mm as being effective, as when we all know they're not. So, Ruprecht, 77k effective DPM, 51. Jesus, that's more than 50% better. 50% more effective. That's pretty brutal, actually. And the fires per minute is higher, but you're running IFHE though, so that's not too active. Oh, Verdi has SAP, so no fires. How effective is it actually? I think you get 26mm pen, or is it 26? Yeah, on the 90. Or is no, wait, it's worse. HE would be... SAP has different pen angle. But honestly, Ruprecht is fundamentally the better ship. Once again, Pommern is one of, kind of like Salem. We're back in the Salem situation. Like, if you don't have any American premiums and you haven't played the Des Moines, Salem is A+ tier ship to get. Pommern kind of sits, I feel, the same way. If you all-round brawler, German brawler, that's pretty fun, but comes with its fair share of weaknesses, then I would say, where the shit is the Pommern? Am I blind? Hello? 29. Am I blind? Where's the Pommern chat? Hello? I can't see it. 2 row next to ZF6. Ah, there. Honestly, the thing is, if you have the Ruprecht is better at everything the Pommern does. So there's no reason to play it. I just posted a commentary of the Ruprecht. That thing is a monster. If they had the Ruprecht, Pommern is like here. Why would you spend coal on a inferior ship? It makes no sense. Like, a ship that does the same thing but worse, it's obsolete basically. So, and it doesn't bring something like Salem, whereas even if you have Des Moines, Salem isn't the worst option because it does have the heal, super heal. But Pommern is just basically objectively worse at everything compared to tankiness. But is it really tanky though? Because the concealment is so much worse and the firing angles are so much worse that Pommern eats so much more shit than the Ruprecht does. So I don't know about the tankiness. It's very questionable. And I'll throw it into C with the Salem, but this is once again, if you don't have the Ruprecht, Pommern is like a fun ship. Strong B probably. Strong B. But what's the point of spending coal on an inferior ship? What is the point of spending coal on an inferior ship? And the new Pan Asian line, the new Pan. Well, these are tier 7s. I don't even want to go here, but honestly, I can cover flips real fast. Don't even bother. The new Pan Asian line is straight up better. The jump on is literally has what, more range, better DPM, better torps. Like it just better in every possible way. So why would you spend coal on a ship that's about to be hardcore powercraft? Hardcore powercraft. Better coal smoke. Jump on is better because jump on has the better smoke as well. Jump on smokes allows you to reposition. Flint, you're stuck in one position, and if it becomes junk, then you're screwed. Oh yeah, Moskva is coal. Moskva is gold. Moskva is actually a pretty strong ship. Moskva is like objectively a pretty damn strong ship. I think it's pretty fun. It's a shit strong A, probably strong A. Where's the Moskva? And you have to. The thing is though, you really have to like the Soviet playstyle for it. You really have to like the Soviet playstyle for it. Where is Moskva there? I really have to like the Soviet playstyle. Maybe we put it in. Maybe we put it in B. If you have Stalingrad, it's gonna feel pretty weak in comparison. If you have Petro, it's gonna feel significantly clumsier and more vulnerable. In fact, if you have the other Soviets, it probably goes down here. But otherwise, as a coal ship, like if you have none of them, then it probably is here. So I'm just gonna park it in B because it's still very good. It's still a very strong ship. It still has really punchy AP. Moskva is objectively better than Stalin now. I mean, Moskva is kind of tankier because of the fire prevention changes, but for random battles, being able to punish broadsides in a Stalin, shit in randoms, in ranked as well, being able to just punish broadsides with the Stalin, you dev strike things. In Moskva, you punish them and then they have to keep giving you broadside, which to be fair happens, but it's not as good. But Moskva is still, if you don't have any of the Soviets, it's up here. If you have them both, then it degrades a bit because it's a clumsier version. And unlike, you can still play something like Petro if there's a CV in the game. You can't play Moskva. To be fair, you can't play Stalingrad either if he knows to just focus you. Stalin is not OP, thanks. Well, literally the fire prevention nerfed it. Well, kind of accident. I'm not sure how intentional it was, but that nerf should have happened years ago. But now there's actually a way to deal with Stalin. The issue was it wasn't before. But Moskva is a very strong ship. Worth the call. The theme with many of these ships is that if you have the comparative ship, the tech tree version, then the value goes down. If you don't, then the value goes up because it's a new ship type, new way of playing, and so forth. I think that was all the coal ships, right? That was all the coal ships. Yes, we have covered the coal ships. Well done, boys. Well done. I can't wait for people to. I can't wait for people to screenshot it and go, look what Flammo thinks. What an idiot. You know that's gonna happen. You know that's gonna. Why is the Salem so low? Why is the Pomeranian here? Oh, I hate Flammo. He's an idiot.
We know why. We know why, Flamu. Yipperdoodle. So what do you guys think of that? Okay, so my takeaway from all that is this. You know, like Pommern and stuff like that, those were available before the new lines came out. So we've seen a trend here now where new lines come out, tech tree lines, and they're much better than the coal ships that you used to pay a premium for to get premium returns. So you keep getting this power creep and they become obsolete. And we noticed that with the Flint as well. It's just a non-stop cycle. And this is one of the things that wargaming has a hard time grasping. Yeah, has a real hard time grasping. So I want to look at something else quickly, and it's got to do with the new Super CV, the Hornet coming out, and her B-25s. And Mountbatten did something on that, so I want to take a look at that, and let me know what you think in chat or comment section. Okay.
Hello, good people of YouTube. Mountbatten here. And today, some very exciting news from the development blog concerning the upcoming Tier 8 American premium aircraft carrier, the Hornet. Now, also in this dev blog, they do reveal some more of the detailed stats about the super carriers, United States, and Eagle, but today we're mainly focusing on the Hornet. So, in this dev blog, Wargaming confirms and announces that the Hornet will be equipped with her B-25s that she is known for carrying for the Doolittle raid. For the maybe 5 people watching this channel that don't know what the Doolittle raid is, the Doolittle raid was the brainchild of one Lieutenant Colonel James Doolittle, and he came up with this idea as a way to get back at Japan after Pearl Harbor. Pearl Harbor had crippled the American Navy in the Pacific and also crippled the morale of the United States. So, in order to hit back at Japan and raise morale, he came up with the idea of using medium bombers launched from an aircraft carrier to hit back at Japan, in particular Tokyo. Japan is on the other side of the Pacific Ocean from the United States, so the Japanese naturally felt pretty invincible on their home islands. The raid went forward and was a success. Now, it didn't do a whole lot of physical damage to Tokyo and the areas surrounding Tokyo that are also bombed, but it was a big morale booster for the United States. Now, these bombers only carried 4 bombs each, and they were stripped of pretty much any unnecessary weight, including the tail gunners and the bomb sight as well. And they were basically filled to the brim with gasoline, and that's how they managed to get them up off the carriers. Now, do keep in mind, too, this is taking off a B-25, a medium bomber, from a World War II aircraft carrier. This is before catapults were a thing on carriers. So, yeah, you can imagine the skill of these pilots needed, and the modification of the planes as well needed, to get a medium bomber to take off in the short space of a World War II aircraft carrier. So, the Hornet having B-25s, and I know there's very strong feelings, very, very strong feelings on the player base concerning aircraft carriers. But look, if you're going to add the Hornet in game, you got to do something like this to not acknowledge its past and its history. There's probably maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3 aircraft carrier names that are probably even known by people that watch or even interested in history that aren't particularly naval enthusiasts, and it's Enterprise, Hornet, and probably Nimitz. And the Enterprise, because it's, well, the Enterprise, Nimitz nuclear aircraft carrier, has been seen in God knows how many movies and such, and video games too. And the Hornet for the Doolittle raid. So, adding the Hornet in game and not adding in her B-25s in some way, shape, or form would be a huge mistake in my opinion. Now, of course, aircraft carriers, there's some problems with them in just the fundamental ways that they work throughout the game. But let's take a look at what Wargaming is doing with her B-25s and how she's going to be able to use them in game. So the link to this dev blog is in the description down below. Like I said, I might have said it's like my 4th time trying to record this. The detailed stats of the super carriers USS, the United States, and the Eagle are also in this dev blog as well. But again, we're focusing mostly on the Hornet here. So in the dev blog, it states, one of the Yorktown-class aircraft carriers, successful, well-balanced ships. Well-balanced ships. I think the Navy is looking to balance ships. I think you're trying to make the most overpowered ship you can in real life, that defined the development of aircraft carriers in the U.S. Navy in the 1940s. The ship's main strike force is torpedo bombers similar to Ranger's researchable ones, and bombers similar to the stock ones of Lexington, but armed with AP bombs. Hornet's bombers and torpedo bombers have a large number of planes per squadron and per attacking flight. A key feature of Hornet is the availability of a tactical squadron of bombers It serves as an auxiliary weapon and consists of a single attacking flight, which takes a significant time to prepare. The squadron doesn't return to the carrier's deck after the attack and is restored by the whole flight at once. The ship's tactical squadron consists of powerful B-25 bombers, which Hornet carried historically for the Doolittle raid. The squadron has a large attack flight size and many bombs per plane. Many bombs per plane. That's interesting. All right, so the B-25s won't be taking off from Hornets. Well, they will be taking off from Hornet if they work like the tactical squadrons that we've seen on the United States and the Eagle. Both of those work, in Wargaming's own words, in a similar fashion to the Issei's planes, where they have to go through their timer, then you can use them, and it doesn't matter if you lose one plane or all four planes. Another 2 minutes on the Issei, you're going to have the whole squadron again. And that's what the tactical squadrons work like on the United States and the Eagle, and those do take off from the ship. So I'm assuming the B-25s will be taking off of the Hornets. Again, if they don't, that's a huge wasted opportunity. It would still be nice that she has them, but if they just get called in randomly, that wouldn't make much sense, and I don't think they would do that either. All right, so let's see. The Hornets, her standard squadrons, the torpedo bombers, have 1,710 hit points. They cruise at 112 knots. 5 planes per flight. No, sorry. The attacking flight is 5, and you get 10 aircraft per squadron. So in total, you get 2 attack runs with the torpedo bombers, but you are throwing 5 torps at once. The aircraft get restored in 62 seconds. They are tier 6 planes at tier 10, so I would imagine a quicker restoration time like that would be necessary. And you get 20 aircraft on deck. Torpedoes and payload, 1. Okay, so 1 torp per plane. Maximum damage 5,500. So if you get all 5 torpedoes to hit with the Hornet, you'll be doing a little over 25,000 damage. But then you take into factors like torpedo protection, and if you do get all 5 on, it's a pretty good hit though. If you do get all 5 on, the torpedoes range is 3 knots. And they travel at 35 knots. Good lord, that is some slow torps. God, the freaking Georgia cannot. Several ships can outrun those. All right, the dive bombers hit points 1,890, cruising speed 122 knots. 5 per attacking flight, 10 per squadron, so you can get 2 attacks. 62-second restoration time. 20 aircraft on deck, so same as that. 1 bomb per payload. And these are AP bombs too, so good lord. 3,600 maximum AP bomb damage. That's if they citadel the ship. So if you get all 5 of these on target, you'll be doing a little over, 17,000 damage and change? Good God. But again, that's if all 5 hit and citadel, which, given the way AP bombers work now, probably you'll be lucky if you get half of that, unless they gave her some crazy reticle. Again, this is without seeing the torpedo reticle or without seeing the dive bomber reticle as well. All right, tactical squadron of bombers, hit points 4,890. They are B-25s. Cruising speed 105 knots. 6 planes and then attacking flight, and 6 per squadron. So again, it's all at once. Squadron preparation time 160 seconds. That's a 2-minute 40-second prep time. Dang. Bombs and payload 4. Okay, that's historically accurate. Well, I guess for carrier-based aircraft, 4 bombs per plane is a lot. They are HE bombs. Maximum bomb damage 300. Again, that's if it's citadels. 42 millimeters a pin, and a 41% chance of causing a fire. So, ooh man, six planes, 4 bombs per plane. That's ooh boy, that's 24 bombs in total. Good God, that's a lot. Now, again, that's if all the planes get through and they don't get nommed up by the AA. I'm going to assume, since they are B-25s, they aren't going to be that maneuverable and probably will have a large turning circle. So they're basically handled like the flying bricks that they are. So it's not going to be like you can quickly get in, select your one target, choose it to die, and beat the crap out of it. Although it wouldn't surprise me if
my
someone
flying
does get lucky and
bricks!
gets the god
You
roll
ever
and
seen
see
flying bricks
some of that
before? I
happening
guess we
in
will soon.
game. So right now, 2 minutes and 40 seconds preparation time. If you think about a lot of the matches that you see now, they last what, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So in a 10-minute game, you get to use these planes, what, twice, maybe three times, depending upon when you pop it. I mean, I guess if you pop it every chance you get, you might get it four times in a 10-minute game, if that. And then, if the game does go for the full 20 minutes, which that doesn't happen too much anymore, you will be able to use it a fair amount. And given the fact that her other aircraft, her standard squadrons, they are the torpedo bombers at least are literally sounding like tier 6 planes. Yeah, the dive bombers sound a bit better, but they are AP too, so that's a bit more handy dandy. So yeah, I mean, it's hard to say, is it going to be balanced off of this right now? Because we don't know what the AP bombs reticle is like. We don't know what the torpedo bombs reticle is like. And we don't know how easy it is to consistently get good hits off on these types of armament. Now, if they're like the usual American torpedo bomber reticles and such, it should be fairly easy to probably get most of your torpedoes on target. I don't think you'll be able to get, unless you're a really good CV player. Now, I'm not a good CV player. You can probably tell by the footage playing in the background. I'm really not that great. But I would imagine for the average Joe, you'd probably be able to get, I would say, easily 4 on target. I would say at minimum probably 3, if you're tagging from the side and such. But again, we'll see. We'll see once the ship gets into testing and how it performs in game. People are getting absolutely dumpstered by these B-25s. Now, given the state of high tier AA, do keep in mind this is a tier 8 carrier. Tier 8 AA is something. It's either like complete god tier, like the kid, or it's useless. So I predict that the B-25s are going to be able to like bully the crap out of ships with poor AA or battleships that go alone. But if you're next to a booster or something, they're probably going to get freaking shredded, I would imagine. But again, we'll see how this carries out. Now, I am assuming the B-25s are level bombers. They don't say here one way or the other, but they could be skip bombers. B-25s were used for skip bombing in World War II, believe it or not. But I think for being the Doolittle raid, they're going to be used for a level bombing. That's what I would expect at least. So here's hoping that that's what it's for, because freaking 24 bombs. That sounds like quite the level bombing right there, at least in my mind. And 24 skip bombers. Oh my god. That would be something, all right. I think that would be freaking nutty. But I think it's safe to assume they will be level bombing because of the raid and how the raid went down. So guys, let me know what you guys think about this in the comments down below. You're looking forward to the coordinate being added into the game. What are your thoughts?
You guys looking forward to a Hornet being added to the game? Oh my. I don't know, folks. I don't know. B-25 bombers. They come up with more gimmicks. And then here's the other thing. You go from tech tree ships well, let's take for instance, we just looked at the top coal ships, and one of the trends that became apparent to me was those premium coal ships that you spent your time getting coal. It's not an easy resource to get, but it's easier to get than steel. And invariably, what happens is down the road, after you spend all that time, you get the ship, you get to know it, get to play it. They come out with a new line that's better than what the coal ship was, and it's a tech tree line, just standard grind for it. So these guys really don't think things out fully at wargaming. They should be fixing up and balance. They talk about balance, but yet they create the imbalance and just don't get it, which is absolutely nuts. And we got naval battles still. Whereas 6450. What do we need to do for naval battles? I'm just checking this. Let's go to the live screen so you can see for yourself. Okay, so we're ahead 6450. Today's the last day. So what can we do? What can we do? Well, do an American cruiser. Let's do the Salem, because, you know, the Salem was the one ship that was brought out or highlighted as a coal ship. Des Moines supposed to be better based on Flamu's experience. And I don't know. I really, Des Moines is just not my ship. I prefer the Salem, but it is trickier to play. Let's see if we can throw some flags on her. Shall we? Yeah, why not? Just throw them on. Just for the heck of it. Just for the heck of it. Okie dokie. There we go. So we're going to go into battle, random battle, tier 10 Salem. This is one of the coal ships that Flamu said was, you know, what did he say? Was a B? I guess it was a B. And let's see what we can do. I like this ship. We're against some tough ships on the other side. How do we stack up against this guy? His concealment is better. AA defense better, but artillery and survivability slightly different. Okie dokie. So we got 4 DDs on each side. It's a lot of torps. Some heavy hitters with the Ohio, Satsuma. Okay, so we gotta go see on this map.
Action
Help out
station.
our team. Hopefully our team helps us out. Oh my. We can always hope, right, folks? We can always hope. Good looking ship. Problem though is the hydro is only good for 8.5 kilometers. Z-planes, boss, Z-planes.
Torpedoes to starboard. Torpedoes
Okay.
astern.
Look at all these friggin' torps.
Critical flooding. Main turret critically damaged.
I wasn't paying attention, folks. That's not a good start. Ceiling lock. Oh well. I need to heal up, lads. Well, I got a good hit on the hospital there. Come on. Should be no problem getting over. Holy moly. Yeah, so I only got a couple of heals. I'm in a tough spot here right now. I just wasn't paying attention. Talking too much, not paying attention. Absolutely, folks. I'm gonna waste another heal. Oopsie. Friggin' bad, John Barticus. Come on. Should be good. A lot faster. Is he a lot faster? Come on, buddies. Drop. Come on. Friggin' aim is just friggin'. The fast ship. Still can't get it wrong, and I got a friggin' torch. Just can't get it wrong. Just can't get around it, lads. Thing about these CVs. So they're down 3 ships, we're down 2. I haven't got much HP left, so I've really put myself into a bit of a pickle already. And the CV's on me too. Come on. What are these friggin' shells? What's going on here? Just pathetic.
We've destroyed an enemy cruiser.
Friggin' planes. Defensive double A. Defensive double A. I use up another heal. Not a good thing. As I said, I've got myself into a pickle too early in the game. love my. Well, don't forget I took all those torps, all those torps as well. All those torpies. Okay, so we're getting the cap at sea. That's what we wanted. That's all that matters. So yeah, the heel really helped all those torps. Normally would take out a regular ship. More friggin' planes. Might have to work on this Jean Bart. Zijon Bate. He's backing up.
All stations, reporting the position of a strategic target.
Satsuma's retreating. See if we can get this friggin' Cabra off. No, it's got friggin' AP. It could hurt us too. We're low health. So we're down 3, they're down 5, so we're in better shape, but they're ahead in the... They got 2 out of the 3 caps. Whoopsie. Then Jean Bart. He can take us out quick. He's got the reload booster. Can't get a good friggin' beat on him. Come on.
The enemy team has taken the lead.
More planes coming by. Come on.
We've destroyed an enemy battleship. That was a
Okay, we
great
should
battle.
get the win this game. My problem is staying alive because the CV can take me out.
Battle ends in 5 minutes. Hanging there. Help is on the way. All stations, proceed to capture that area. reporting the target position.
Sometimes guys don't get it. They want you to push the cap. I didn't want to cap because I'm better alive than dead trying to cap, knowing the Salem's around and he can take me out. So I acquiesced, went in. It was a mistake, and you've seen why it was a mistake. Actually, we ended up winning the game. How'd we manage to do that? Must have gotten a quick kill at the end. Lucky. Yeah. We got the quick kill at the end. You see, what I needed, and that's why I said, okay, I'll go cap, but I requested fighters, but the CV doesn't put out any fighters. So I needed fighters, and I needed cover. He could have friggin' harassed the Salem while I was shooting at him, so, or taking his attention. You know, I did the best I could under the circumstances, but what are you going to do? A lot of guys just do not understand that. That's a perfect example of it. So I managed to take out a couple ships anyway, so that was okay. Oh crap, did I enable the naval battles? I don't think I did. You know what, I forgot to. I would have had it and I forgot to do it. Watch. Oh, I did have it enabled, okay. So we got it. We got it. Let's just double check to make sure. Yeah, we got it. Cool. Holy moly, that would have been all that work just and, you know, I was lucky to pull it off because I got nailed right at the beginning. It was my own fault just not paying attention. Talking to you guys in the stream. What are you going to do? What can you do, folks? That is life. That's life. So we're going to collect a container. We're going to take resources. Always take resources. Okay, thank you. Good. Roger that. Can use all that stuff. Collect another container. More resources. Okie dokie. So let's go on one more battle in the Salem. This is going to be our last game of the day. Questions, comments, throw in chat. Otherwise, forever hold your peace. And remember one thing. Bob is your uncle because Bob is everybody's uncle. Oh my. Yes, it's true. Bob's a very popular name, folks. Oh my. Yipper-doodle. Okay, let's see what we're up against here this battle. So we didn't do too bad that last game. Ended up pulling off some okay damage. But as I said right at the beginning, I pulled a boner, which we call a bonehead move. Okay, so we got an Immelman CVs on each side. That's the cruiser's panacea. That's what we do not like seeing. Don't tell me we got these. I hope we don't have a friggin' storm. And here we are on the A side, very weak on this side, so we got to be very careful. Hopefully we get some support. Fletcher's snoozing. Guy's taking a nap, I guess. Who knows? Oh, he's alive now. Okay, cool. We need him. Fletcher's a good destroyer. We're gonna get around these islands here. Yeah, here we got planes already coming. Already seeking us out. Seeking us out, lads. So we're heading to the A cap. We let our team know. We got a Satsuma heading this way. We're already detected. Not a good thing, boys. Not a good thing. Oh, come on. Friggin' bullshit. Perfect shot.
Fire alarm! Torpedoes dead ahead. Problem solved, sir. Fire alarm!
Come on. We need a lot more support here. We don't have enough support. I can't get out quick enough. Satsuma's gonna be on us too.
Problem solved, sir.
Friggin' more torps. Damn.
Fire alarm!
Use some support here, guys, you know. Holy crap. Look at with our team. What is it with these guys? Friggin' brain dead. We're not gonna last here, boys. We're not gonna last here at this rate.
Fire alarm!
That's the toast. We're gonna be toast here. We're ahead in the leaderboard, but you know, that's just goes. I'm just trying to explain to you. This is why your teams, you got to understand flanking. And now they're finally, guys are shooting at this Satsuma. Finally. But look at, they're over B. B, you're in the middle of the map. It doesn't make sense. You got to have two flanks, and that's how you flank ships and take them out. It's a very simple strategy. It's been used for friggin' 100 years or more, and people just don't get it. Whether it's hand-to-hand combat or it's with ships, you got to flank. You work the outside, hit the center. You know, work the outside, hit the center. People don't get it. And even if you're doing Wing Chun and it's straight on, you still, if it's 3 against 1, you know, it's a numbers game as well. People just don't get it. Friggin' Satsuma should be gone a long time ago. It's finally gonna be gone now.
Our team has taken the
But
lead.
if you look at the guys at sea, instead of pulling back, coming across to support their team, they were chasing ships. And this is where you run into a problem. And a lot of that has to do, guys from friggin' lower tiers moving up too fast. So now they're going, instead of supporting their other guys, now they're going up against 2 or 3 ships now, and now they're maybe only 2 or 3, and now they're taking a chance at friggin' losing the game. Not paying attention. You should be focusing on that friggin' cruiser, because we got a cruiser and a B, which is a very dangerous thing trying to cap. And these guys just don't get it. Yeah, so the cruiser's dead now. Knew that was going to happen. It's just friggin' bad positioning, bad moves, and he shouldn't have been in that position. Luckily, our Satsuma took out their Ibuki, which is a little bit late. Again, it's a little late to the party. And that's where it happened on my side. I'd still be alive and still be a threat to the enemy, but we don't have guys paying attention. That's why you got to watch these mini maps. Very, very important, folks. Got to watch those mini maps. Like these two guys, the Musashi and Vermont, should be spread out more. They both have good guns. Now you've got this other Satsuma back. He's got great guns too, but he's hidden behind this friggin' island, which is limits what he can target. And we lost the Conde, which, you know, is a big cruiser. I don't know if it's got radar or not. May have hydro, but that Tashkent is the only threat really on the other team that you want to take out quickly. And I would have taken him out if I had some support. Just didn't have the support. A lot of these guys just don't get it. They don't get it, folks. And if you're playing this game, you got to understand flanking. But you're in a random battle. All these guys, now you see, this Tashkent sent torps out, and so Satsuma might lose his ship. If he can dodge them, fine, but he's going to eat 2 at least. Well, 1 at least. Could have been worse. Now that Thunderer should be helping him out with that Montana. I don't see why isn't this Thunderer shooting at the friggin' Montana, finally. There we go. Should have air support over there also. Which looks like he's got there now. Important to get those fighters out. We're focusing on B, which, well, at this point, grab it and then pull back and play smart. Don't forget that Tashkent's around there now, too. Focusing on our Tashkent. And the only cruiser that we had, the Conde, is friggin' dead, trying to cap B initially. This Ibuki. He's toast now. So the other team's coming right back. We had the advantage, and we need to get this cap and then pull back, because otherwise we're going to be toast. This Tashkent's got to get out of there. It's going to be a tough game, folks. It's going to be a tough one, I say. A tough one. Let me know what you're thinking. We'll keep an overview of the game here. But it could go either way now, if we're not careful. Satsuma and Thunder got to pull back. We need fighters over there to protect the two big ships there. Because their CV just keeps sending torp boats. We're going to lose two ships over there. That's just the way it's going to be, folks. Let's see. Keep our fingers crossed.
Our team has taken the lead. Provide anti-aircraft fire.
Okay, at least we got the advantage here and now. What we need to do is
Our
take out
victory
that
is in
friggin'
sight.
Montana. The Montana.
White delivered squeak.
Okay, we're getting the third cap. Their Tashkent's over at C now. So that's where the CV should be getting some planes over C. Get that Tashkent. Got three big ships. Between all three of them, if they focus fire on the Tashkent, they can take it out. That's where the CV should be putting planes over the C cap. But he's not. Should be putting fighters over A instead of torp friggin' planes. What are you gonna do? You can't friggin' fix stupid.
Our victory is in sight. Battle ends in 5 minutes.
So the Satsuma got some good hits in there, saved our bacon. But our CV should be spotting. Why is he friggin' chasing those planes? He should be friggin' spotting B for our team. Oy vey. What are you gonna do? What can you do? Game's not over with yet. At least we salvaged the B cap, forced them back, but the Satsuma is gonna freaking take. Unless he can dodge. He dodged some of those torps, but he can take a hit. That Tashkent's gonna keep burning them down. This is where the friggin' hack should be, all over this Tashkent. Like, people just don't get it. Well, luckily we pulled off a win here. Could have gone very friggin' bad quick. Let's see, I didn't do too. Still third up from the bottom. If I had some support, I'd still be in the game. But I had no support on that side. And against Satsuma on the other team, Tashkent, and there was a cruiser there as well, so they're guys are a little late understanding that. So even though I was out so early, I still had pretty much the same friggin' XP as this hack had. And these guys didn't do too much better. Buki, and what's the other one? The Conde. Yeah. Now what are you going to do? What are you going to do, folks? What can you do? Can't do too much. So listen, thanks for watching. Everybody have a good rest of your day, night, or whatever the case may be. May go live later, but not sure. Don't count on it. If it happens, it happens. But keep in mind, we're live next Saturday morning, 10 a.m. New York time. So until then, stay safe. With the understanding, the vaccine's your best defense against this virus, providing you've got no health reasons. Get medical advice about that. Practice social distancing. Wear a mask out in public. That's your best defense. Anybody that tells you otherwise, hey, it's your life, your health. Health is priceless. Your life is precious. Take care of yourself. Sending love and peace, Michael J. Take care, folks. All the best. And before we do, if anybody has any quick questions, by all means, just throw them in chat. And otherwise, as I said, understand your health is precious. Your life is precious. Take care of both. Have a good day. Talk soon. Take care, folks.